Hey Francis, how are you? You just woke up? What time zone are you in? Hey Iris. Hey Lulu. I am back. I had a good holiday. How was your holidays, Lulu? You could probably kill that branch now, but I think I'm gonna leave it. Oh, Pacific. Let's go ahead and install everything. Yes. Hey King Dario. Hello from Texas where it's cold. You know, for me today, it actually is a little cold, but relative to everywhere else, it's not that cold. I think it's like, let's see, Austin weather. It's 44 degrees today for me. Yeah, I'm from Austin. Your music production is sick too. Do you make music? What type of music? Oh, EDM. Soft, cute version. I think that should fix our time zone problem. Hey, Free Foul. I have no idea how you pronounce your name. Alright, so that was pretty much all the things that I wanted to merge. I think we put this in a different one. Go ahead and close this. So now I have to decide what I'm going to do today. I'm going to go ahead and just boot this up. Free food. Free foul. Free foe. Start it up. Yeah, it is. It's taking a second to load. What's the new tab extension that you use? This is called Momentum. Yeah. Momentum Dash. Alright, nice. So we loaded. Are you paying for a Figma subscription? No, I'm currently on a free. I'm just using the free plan. Okay, so Vlad has updated our designs a little bit. So we have some new stuff to design up. Mind showing around your files in the project? Sure. Are you talking about the Figma files? Are you talking about the code, or what are you, or just this in general? Will you be implementing infinite scrolling? I don't think so at first. I think I'm just going to use this and do load more like that for now, and then possibly at some point in the future, but not for the first version. Yeah, for Figma, yeah, I'll show the new ones in 1 second, or just the Figma pages. I want to just test. All of these say 1 minute ago. I just want to test if I create a new code review that it does the right time. Alright, so it says 7 seconds ago. Perfect. Do you keep a single file with a lot of pages or multiple files? So I didn't create most of this. There's someone named Vlad that did most of this stuff. So let's go through the play button, present. And so right now how it's set up is it's in a single thing. I should probably get rid. Yeah, so this page needs to get totally reworked, and I just haven't done it yet. So yeah, we definitely need to get rid of that. Alright, so here's our color palette. And we have this set up right now in a theme that we're using, and this is we're using Styled System and Rebas to kind of do that. How to use, not much to say there. Enter a fruit looks like downshift copy pasta. That is accurate. You have a good eye. That's exactly what it is. Here are just the individual components, which you'll see in a second. Alright, let's do... There we go. So this was actually the original, what we were originally going to do for the home page, but I actually switched it up a little bit. So instead of doing cards, we're doing rows, because we don't really have a ton of text. So it's going to be more like this style. And then we didn't want these bars to extend the entire screen, so we added a sidebar. Not exactly sure what I'm going to put in the sidebar yet. But that's a little different than what we originally had in our design here, where it's kind of card oriented. Basically, when we tried it out, we just don't have this block of text to really put in the card. Here's the next one. So here's where we can like look at a repository. So here's what it looks like comparatively on our code right now. This has so little files, it's kind of a bad example. Let's pick which one has more. Maybe this one has more. Yeah. So here you can see the file tree that's fetched from GitHub. Here's the file tree as well. And then the part that I haven't added yet that I'm going to be adding is here's our styled form. we don't really need to ask a question on this page, I don't think. So that's something I can only show on a certain page. But we will be showing questions. So here are the different questions. This page we're not going to use anymore, I don't think. Neither that page. This is possibly like the gist of what's going to happen to this ugly page over here. Instead of enter fruit, it's going to look more like this. And you choose a repository. And then this is another page where when you actually click on a question, you can see like a comment thread similar to GitHub. And you can see people who have responded. You can also see the original question. And I think that's all the Figma files. Alright, so let's create just a to-do for today. Oh yes, I forgot I was going to add these things. Save code snippets for questions. Oh, am I not doing that yet? Let me just check the code real quick and see if I'm saving the actual source code. Alright, so I am saving the code snippet at least in the database. Let's see if I have a input. I do not. Actually, this is a post. It should be a question. Here we do have a code snippet. And then on the front end, let's see if we're actually passing it in. Yeah, we are. Cool. How was my Christmas? It was good. Had a good time. How was your Christmas? Alright, so this I'm going to put in my to-dos. We're going to do this at a later date. Kind of boring. So this is a very easy change that I can add real quick. I thought they had a monorepo example. I mean, I can just search this. Am I using Antdesign? I'm using Antdesign for exactly one thing, and that's this. So I can log out. For this little, that triggers the hover, that's all I'm using it for. Here we go, Yarn Workspaces. So we're going to try out this package in our config because I did not add this. And this is recommended when you're using what we're using, or using a monorepo or Yarn Workspaces. So I would like to transpile UI and common. So I can specify what other packages this package depends on. I actually don't know what we have in common right now. We have an old yup schema. Alright, transpile that. And we need to actually install it. We'll see if that works or changes anything. Alright, so now I can just add new cards. Also, I should show you guys a PR that we got. So we just have to go to a file. I broke it, didn't I? Now I wonder, it could actually get mad at me because I don't think I'm actually using the common package, but I told to transpile it anyway. We'll see if it gets mad. There we go. So now when I select like 1, for example, and let's go down to 8, as you can see, we have this highlighting thing, and you also notice, right, you can see that we can hover, we can click on stuff. Now you will notice, I'm actually not sure how to clear it. One thing I noticed is it looks like the syntax highlighting is not showing up on this. Alright, never mind, it is showing up. I thought it didn't show up. Let me just reload and go through what I did. So I click this, click this. Yep, it does show up, cool. When's the last time you worked with Django? Maybe like a year or so. It's been a while. Let's see, when did I do this project? This project's 4 years ago. I don't know when my latest Django project has been. It may even be longer than a year. Because this is an earlier Django project that I did, so there may be a more recent one. I love Django, but moved off of it when starting to use GraphQL. That's pretty much the same experience I had, actually. Hey, Alex. You've been using Flask? I'm a fan of Flask as well. It reminds me a lot of Express and JavaScript. Both of them are super similar. Hey, Beepo. Actually, Beepo, I have a question for you. So you know how when you set up the Figma design, you had it where it was, so like right now I'm kind of like in edit mode. And the Figma you sent me was kind of in a view mode, but I could still click on stuff and I could like look at the code. How can I do that? Because basically I don't want to accidentally move stuff around. And if I go like this, it doesn't let me click on stuff. Hope you had a Merry Christmas. I did. It was nice and relaxing. The Python GraphQL lib graphene just isn't my favorite. I haven't tried it, or I might have tried just a little bit, but in general I felt like, I mean, it's getting better, but JavaScript just had way more support for GraphQL. There's just way more libraries and they did more things. Like, this is one thing I stumbled upon, is like there wasn't a good implementation of subscriptions in Python for GraphQL, and I don't know if that's changed yet, but that was one thing that was like, eh. I'm not sure what you mean, to be honest. You can lock layers, but they can't select them either. So what I mean is, so like currently I can edit actually maybe it's something here. Publish styles and components, show version, export. No, I don't want to do a PNG. Basically I want to lock them. Basically I want to be able to view stuff without being able to move it around. If you know Flask, learning the Django REST framework. Oh, I like that one. Will be pretty easy. You could try using a share only viewable link and looking at it for yourself. I've never come across that need. Oh. Let's try that first. This may be for collaboration though. Yeah, so for collab, let's do can view only, copy link. So this may be collaboration too. Yeah, it is. Can view. Why is it letting, oh, maybe because I'm logged into my Figma account. Yeah, maybe I think this is what I want. Well, no, now I can't actually click on stuff and get the values. All right, let's try locking the layers. Is that something I do over here? All right, I just locked everything. Yeah, locking's not what I want either. Unlike all. All right, I'll just do it like this for now. That's fine. So, first thing I think that I want to do is design this like card thing for a question. Other thing that I want to do is make a with auth higher order component. And we're going to use this to kind of just, there's some pages that we want users to be logged in for. So that's what I want to start with. And I guess we should create this separate page. I got refracting UI, by the way. It was on Reddit for free. Nice. How are you liking it? So the replies and the questions are very similar. And it's kind of based off the GitHub issues. Let me see what that looks like. Okay, they do it like that. I will support them by creating better things going forward. All right, let's give that a try then. That seems pretty good. So what I think I'll start with is this question component, which is right here. What did I commit? Oh, yes. Change event. So one thing I actually recently started doing which I think I'm going to continue trying for this project is commitizen. Yeah, let's initialize it. How does React work with TypeScript? Does it remove the need for prop types? Pretty much. Prop types, I believe, also check it like at runtime. So TypeScript's not going to check it at runtime. It's going to check it at compile time, which, for the most part, I don't really use prop types at all. I don't know if anyone does. I haven't seen anyone use them together. I think you're pretty much covered if you just use TypeScript. Hey, did you hoist styled components in your monorepo? I didn't. What I did instead, because I assume the problem you're having was, well, okay, I do have it hoisted, I guess. I didn't use no hoist on it yet. And what I did instead is I have a single package which is using it, which is this UI package, and then I'm exporting it over here. Nope. Where am I doing it? I think it's right here. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing, and then I'm exporting it. And then I'm exporting this over here. So what that means is, I think it was in code file. You can see I'm importing styled from CodePonder/UI. So whenever I want to do styled component stuff in my web folder, I import it from there. Download the VS Code styled components extension, by the way. I actually do have that extension. I actually just disabled it because it was not syntax highlighting correctly on this particular screen, actually. It was getting messed up with all the interpolation, so I actually just removed it. Because it was just making the whole file look extremely ugly. But I actually do have it. I just disabled it. I think where did I have it? Did I actually remove it? Nope, yeah, I just have it disabled. If I'm trying to learn TypeScript, what would you recommend I learn and implement to really understand it? I would really just work on any project that you're currently working on, either migrate it over to TypeScript or start working on a new project that uses TypeScript. And I think just working on a project and coding the entire thing in TypeScript is the best way to learn it. And then just to Google as you get stuck, and using like the TypeScript website as a reference. Prototypes are useful in public libraries where people may use JavaScript in their app. That's a good idea, actually. That's a good point. If someone's using a TypeScript library in JavaScript, then prototypes would still be useful. I'm in my enabled extensions. Yeah, that's probably what it was. So the other one that I just installed, so that was, where is it? Comitizen. So I'm trying out this Comitizen thing, where basically it will, it forces me to do a commit style, and here's what the commit style looks like. So we made all those changes. I'm gonna add it. So it's a conventional commit. I picked the type of change that I made. What did I just change? I changed the config of really the next config file. I think this is more of a bug fix. Scope. I need to look up what really the scope thing is. I've been just putting the name of the file, which I don't know if is the correct thing to do. And then this is where I just write my usual commit message, where I'm like, fix monorepo. Oh, it's not fixing monorepo. So like Next.js, transpile, other packages. It asked me a whole bunch of other questions. But what it'll do is it'll do this now into my commits. So there's the commit message that I wrote. It was a fix and like this. And the reason why I am setting it up this way is because then I can automatically create like change logs / version my code that way. Yeah, I went the long way around and went through all the pages of the deep dive book. Yeah, that's the thing. Also, with TypeScript is there's a ton of stuff you can do with it. Scope could be the monorepo package, at least that is what I do. Okay, I like that. I like that a lot, actually. So then I know which package that I'm working on, whether it's the website, the server, or the UI. I'm going to start doing that. I like that a lot. And now what do I do with it? Yeah, I mean, what you do with it is now you should just be writing all your code in TypeScript, basically. I mean, the fundamental stuff is whenever you call, like, let's take React for example. The fundamental thing really that you're going to be doing in React is the props. So, where's my question? So like, okay, this is a kind of a wimpy one, but here's an interface where I'm creating the props, and I'm setting that to my component here. And the reason why I'm doing that is so I know exactly when I call this component. Let's see where we call it. It's gonna be more like that. Oh right, I have my search on the server. Should be in the web package. There we go. So when I call my question here, I know what props that I pass in, and I make sure I'm passing in the right props. That's a big one, is making sure you add props, or add interfaces for the props for your components. And I mean, the nice thing that's going to happen is I don't pass in that prop. It's going to tell me I didn't pass in that prop and that I need it. And it's also going to be able to auto-complete that for me. And then that and like functions, right? So like passing parameters to functions. And that's like 90% of what I do with TypeScript is the props, setting the interfaces for that, for functions and components, I'd say. All right, so back to our question component though. I just have a bunch of divs in here. So I need to turn those divs into this. So right now, so what I'm trying to decide is if I want to put this in the UI package, and I think the question and the answer is yes. And the UI package is actually going to have a couple of links. It's going to have a link there. We're not in the UI package. This component has a link there. We're not actually going to have a link here per se. And maybe that's a problem. We'll see if this causes a problem in a second, actually. Yeah, there are some prerequisites to doing some of that stuff. I mean, the best advice is to just start building it, and then when you run into a place where you can't build the specific thing that you need to build for your project, to then go learn that piece. And like slowly iterate like that is basically how I do it. All right, let's do this then. So this is my fragment though, and I kind of want to use the fragment in here. Yep, we're just gonna rebuild it. That's fine. And also, I'm not gonna show question reply for now. A maybe string. Hey, Murad. So maybe is from GraphQL. What is this type? I've never seen the maybe type before. So it's possibly null, undefined, or the type that's there. The programming language. Interesting. So I'm actually not using GraphQL as a dependency in the UI package, so I don't think I want to use that here. And instead, I'll just write this out the long way. What am I creating? I'm creating a marketplace for code reviews. Oh man, it didn't copy over. So I'm currently working on the website for that. And what the heck? Where's the creator? And currently what I'm working on is implementing or coding up this little card right here, which is going to be like a question. Okay, so we're going to be using the avatar. So I'm going to use the card from Rebas. And so I guess we're going to have a single row at the top. And then, okay, so we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to have 4 rows. So this row is going to have 1 div here and 1 div here. So this is going to be the avatar. And we already created a component for this. And then this is going to be another div. Now we actually don't have a question title right now. Use flex for the header section. Yeah, that's a good idea actually, because I do want this to flex. Maybe we just put the person's username here instead. And then we need to know the number of replies. Which I don't think we've programmed in the backend yet. And we also need that little icon. This is also going to be on the same, this is also going to be kind of a inline flex row. And it's going to have the date of when it was created. So we're going to add a created at I'm not sure if created at's actually going to be a string when it comes in. This is very similar to something we created before, but I can't remember which one it was. I think it was a post row. Yeah, here we go. Just wanted to make sure we were importing it like that before. So here's our date string. We're gonna use like that. For the inner div with the 2 text things inside, you can just have a box instead of the flex column. Yeah, you're right. I don't think there's any reason why we need to flex it right now. Alright, so that's the general structure of this little piece, I think. Then we'll have the actual text here, which is going to be just text. Then we're gonna have the code snippet. So code snippet. Do I have that up here? No, I don't yet. Ooh. So like I want to display the code snippet here, but I haven't made the code block into something that's simple and reusable. We're gonna have to do that at a later date. So I'm just gonna wrap this in a div for now. Oh, we call it code snippet. So it's gonna be down there. What shortcut to import stuff that you use? Like you type a component you haven't imported yet, you press something and it auto completes. I use control and then space. So for example, let's do image. So like right now it automatically popped up, but let's say if it didn't pop up, I just have my cursor right next to the component, and then I hit control space and it pops up the menu. I constantly grapple with how I should set up my component naming structure. Pretty much I do as well. Having everything named index.tsx and frustrates me when searching for files. So what I do is, that makes it slightly better, is I'll actually do like postcard/index, and that's kind of how I search for files, because I know I named pretty much all of them index. But yeah, I know what you mean. So this file is going to reference this thing, which we're going to call a path, and the path may not be a thing. Yeah, that's the other nice thing about VS Code, is like I can see that this is the folder question and index is the file. That definitely helps a lot too. So let's create a story for this and see what this is starting to look like. I think I can check what the setting is. I think I have it set. How do I go back to JSON mode? Here we go. Right here. Label format short is what I have it set to. Up, yep. I should try WebStorm. How about you should try VS Code? We actually don't really care about the starting line number. We may want to show the programming language. I'm gonna leave it off for now. I think I have a card over here. Let's see where I'm using this. I feel like I'm passing this in somewhere. Actually, I can just create a new one. Let's do that. You went with style guide is with TypeScript. Yeah, I was able to get style guide is set up way easier than I was able to get Storybook set up. How are you liking it so far? Just restart Storybook. Oh, it's still compiling. I don't like VS Code either, WebStorm or Sublime. Wow. It's nice, but it documents every type by default, so when you assign a styled component as having HTML input element types, you get a gajillion props. Oh, yikes. Is there no way to ignore some? I guess, yeah, there's probably not a way to easily ignore like a group of props like that. Have you taken a look at Dino? I've read the GitHub repo, but that's about it. It looks sweet. I'm not sure how close it is to like production ready. So what did I call this? Let's give it a name. Question. Vue.js is a good example of cards that we can get like some initial styling on, I think. Or I can just grab the initial styling that I'm using on another one. You wish you chose Edon. Alright, so this is 28 by 28. So I'm going to create a variant for the text here, so that way we can reuse it a couple times. This this is gray text, I suppose. So I just want to see if this works. Does text not have a variant option? Is it only button? I suppose instead of doing a variant, I just create the component. Does it need to be like that? I'm not sure how to make the type of this happy. In this case, I'm just gonna say any. Does that fix it? That's what I was doing wrong. It's totally happy with my child. It's not happy with this. There we are. And now I can use this gray text. So rebuilding? Let's go, buddy. There we go. Its font size is huge. That's why. So it's this global style component. And I think I'm setting the global style component, setting the font size of the rims. right here should be font size 62.5. And I don't think I'm rendering that. Okay, so my syntax is right. I think that should fix that. Just need to restart Storybook. So what's happening is it looks a lot bigger because we don't have font size set to 62%. I think that's the material icon. Why aren't you setting the default font to 16 pixels? I'm not sure what we have the default font at. The reason why this looks funky is because that was not showing up. Alright, that looks better. Alright, looks like the default font size is, since I have it set at 62%, that way rims are easy. Maybe at like 10 pixels. This should be 10 pixels. And here I'm using one rim, which is 10 pixels. Yep, 10 pixels. If you want relative units, I believe it's better to use m/rims though. They have changed. I don't usually see percents, especially not the root level. Usually you just want to set it 62% and go. So what happened with that is, so I am using rims for the font size, and maybe I just need to set a base font size at the top level. But to make rims, someone suggested to make rims simpler to calculate, instead of going, I have 24 pixels and then I want divide that by 16 every time, is now each rim is worth 10 pixels. So that's what that, like, setting the font size percentage there did. So someone did a PR for that. So that's why we have it doing that now. So now we can basically add rims easier. 4 pixels. So now I can just say 0.8 rims and I know it's going to space nicely. So let's add those icons. Alright, so it's going to be like a comment. Communication comment. And let's see. I think the folder tree. Yeah. So that's the one thing about the material icons is I never know what exactly I need to put there. I think I'm just going to use my own icon component. It'll be faster, I think. Fish Shell 3 got released today. Oh, nice. What, do you know any of the big changes that happened? Hey, how late are you streaming today? I think today I'm going to stream for about an hour and a half more today. And I don't think I'm going to stream later tonight. So this has two paths. Wonder if that'll mess things up. Alright, see ya, Beepo. A lot of changes, fixes, and features. Ooh. I'll have to read the change log after this. No stream on Friday night? Blasphemy. I know, right? Alright, this may not work out well, but let's see. So now I can just say icon. This project sounds interesting. Definitely somewhere I'd avoid. Oh, I need to say what color. Accidentally switch the order of those. Alright, let's see if our little icon component works. Let's get rid of the import at the top. 1800 commits, not bad. Alright, so it's a little janky. I think it's because it's using another view box. So this is using a view box of 24 by 24 by 24. And what am I using? The view box that I'm setting is based on the size, which is default 16. Let's see what 24 looks like. Interesting. So the next thing that I want to try is dividing the height and width by 2, but keeping the view box the same. Perfect, so that does what I wanted. So now I'm gonna have to create a ratio between the view height, the view box, and the width and height, because it looks like the view box needs to be static. So this is going to be the path. No, this is going to be the D. Yep, it's D. We're also going to need to specify the view box. 0, 0. And I'm not sure if the view box ever changes. I'm going to keep the uppercase consistent. So the goal of all that is hopefully now I am going to be able to give it any size that I want. So this is only a 12 pixels one. And nice, so it's nice and small. React in TypeScript is hurting your head. Why is that hurting your head? All the interfaces? I would say the only thing different is these props. Mostly. There's little stuff. It's good. I'm expanding your mind. Alright, let's get this little clock. Alright. So what would this be called if it wasn't a clock? Maybe a watch? Haha, it is a watch later. Except it's like an inverted one. That's fine. View boxes 24. Very simple deep. This actually has 2 paths. I wonder if it's not going to fully register. Nope, it looks good. Alright, I think I'm going to get some tea real quick, and then we'll continue working on this card. So be right back. So I just want to compare ours versus GitHub's for a second. So we have the username and the person's name there as well. Okay. So I want to center. Right now it's a little up. I also want to add 2 pixels of padding. Yeah, that was the other thing. I didn't think that was Rubik. So this is going to be Rubik 14 pixels. Let's keep the default black for now. To center this, I think I need to say flex here. And then center that. Okay, so I centered it the wrong axis. There we are. Should be 6 pixels to the left. And this feels a little cramped right there. So it's 4 pixels to the left. So I'm not going to set the border on the cards again. So it's going to make it flat. So the image has a default margin on it that I'm just going to remove. There we are. And now I can add padding around the entire thing, which looks like it's 10 pixels or 1 rim. The color looks a little different here than it does here. Maybe it's just the font size. This is too big. This is 14. No, this is 12 pixels. That's odd. We'll leave it there for now. Alright, so there's a link. Thought it might be a little bit easier just to grab it from the website and inspect it, but it looks like they don't even use an SVG there for some reason. So the text is kind of floating. I don't know if I need both of these. Good evening. It's actually kind of midday for me. It's 11 right now. 11 a.m. Seven in Greece where I am. Nice. What is your favorite Greece food? All of them? They can't all be your favorite. If you could have anything for dinner tonight, what would you choose to eat? Ah, you like moussaka. Oh, I forgot to export my question. My mom's actually a big fan of that dish. Let's do index here. Your mom knows. To be honest, I actually don't know if I've ever had it. I don't think I've ever ordered it at a restaurant. And I don't think my mom has cooked it before. I haven't been enlightened yet. I have two questions, and that was getting confusing. I need to delete this other guy. Let's just kill him. I have eaten it abroad, nothing comes close. Okay, so I have to visit Greece if I want to eat moussaka. Hey Ben, why did you choose Rebus JS? So I haven't used it before, so I'm basically testing it out. Someone recommended it in chat, and I was using styled system, and so Rebus makes it a little bit easier. The nice thing that you get out of it is you get like these components where you can have shortcuts, if you will. So, for example, there's a flex component from Rebus, and I can just say align items and justify content, and I can easily pass it, and it applies those styles pretty easily to it. Question section. Question form. Here's a question. Is it reactive native compatible? Are you talking about React Native compatible? And the answer is I don't think so. I think it's only for React. You can see if there's anything about it. Maybe there's an issue. Looks like somebody's working on it. Dang it, I loaded package lock, which is gonna just slow everything down. Alright, we'll give it a second to load this, because I think I just broke it, basically. There we go. All right, we'll have to see why this is complaining in a second. Hey Ben, why do you use Postgres instead of MySQL? Pretty much, I've just like heard very good things about Postgres, and a lot of people are starting to migrate over to it, and it has a lot of like it has all the functionality that I want, and it has like a lot of nice features that you just don't see in other databases. So being able to have store things in arrays, being able to store things as JSON columns, being able to do full text search. I'm not sure how many of those things MySQL has. They probably have some of those things, but basically I just don't see the same capabilities in MySQL as I do in Postgres. Something like React Native primitives, yeah. So So Hader, what are you working on then that you want to? Are you trying to set something up like a website and an app and have a single source code then that is like a React Native app and a React app at the same time? Is that what you're trying to create? Oh, MySQL is easier to scale. How come MySQL is easier to scale than Postgres? Is it just the tooling is not as good on Postgres, or is it like a just there's a fundamental difference or something? Hey, one man, I'm working at the moment on a patch. What patch are you working on? I went ahead and used your change where I am using the time zones, and that's working nice. Yes. Oh, does Airbnb do that? Where they have a single source code for it? So what are you using right now, Hater? Are you using React primitives? React primitives. And have you considered React Native Web? Have you tried this one at all? Yeah, I'm familiar with the. Everyone points to the Uber article where they switched over from Postgres to MySQL. That's an interesting one. I mean, from what it sounded like, is they were just using their database in kind of an odd manner anyway. But yeah, I haven't really tried scaling a database to millions of users, so I can't say. It looks like MySQL may be easier to do that. It's not enough. I need something with more features like Material UI with native support. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean that's tricky to set up. I'm not sure where you're gonna find that. Oh, you know what? I think I just need to reset this. I should be able to import this question component. I see. So Postgres does not have built-in replication. So we're missing some fields which we can get from our fragment. And code snippet. No yarn generate. Hey, Pollux. The Mongo hype died. Yeah, it kind of did. People use Neo4j these days with GraphQL. I don't really think that's the case, to be honest. I'm really curious how many people are doing that right now. I feel like it's probably pretty niche. What was the main problem with Mongo? That it loses a lot of data. That's what I've heard. And like just in general, like they want what relational databases have to offer, like foreign keys and making sure everything is working. Exactly what Lulu's saying. The data is relational, and like trying to do that in Mongo is just not as good. Pro Sam, how come you're not creative? They call it the Grand Stack. Yeah, I've heard of it. No, I think it's called the Grand Stack. Shrug, you've never been creative? This is what I wanted. Field resolver. Alright, cool. Now we have that field on our database. So what is your problem? Like, you can't think of any projects that you'd want to work on? Yeah, the Grand Stack. I just found out I say click and niche. Niche. I think I usually say niche and click. Are you using Prisma for this project? We can't even connect. I crashed the server. I did crash the server. We need an explicit type for this field. Alright, that should rebuild it. Are you using Prisma for this project? I'm not. I'm using TypeGraphQL for this project. Do you use Create React app for production? Yes, I'm using it right now. My Prisma, not my Prisma, my Saffron project is using Create React app. Hey Z Shetamalbali. Also today I learned say word in your terminal. Oh, you can have your terminal speak to you. I think at one point I had the same problem as you, Pro Sam, where I couldn't think of any projects that I wanted to work on, and it definitely sucked. One thing that I tried for a little bit that was like decently helpful. All right, cool. That generated the types, and I think I should. Have this stuff on here now. One thing that I tried recently that worked out, actually I don't know, I haven't done it in a little bit, but when I was having that problem is people recommended just writing down 10 ideas every single day, even if they're bad, and then after a while you kind of just have this list of like really bad ideas, and maybe string for that. Okay. You have this long list of kind of bad ideas, and eventually you get a decent one out of it. There we are. I'm working on a patch to show review question and reply in the code and also form like GitHub. See also the review process. I can send some screenshots later. Okay, one man. What's the new icon above the Docker VS Code one? Yeah, it's live share. This guy right here. Do you have any React tsconfig starters without Create React app? No, I pretty much just have Create React app, and then this project is using Next.js. So those are pretty much the only two starters that I've used for React projects. The other one that another one that I would consider using is Bootstrap. Sorry, not Bootstrap. Boilerplate. And this one looks pretty interesting. This is one that I would try out as well. What IDE am I using? I'm using Visual Studio Code. Yep, exactly. Huh. We see our little cards here. Nice. Now this is all the way to the left. I think that's because I did the justify stuff, and that's not what I wanted. Yeah, let's remove justify. Christmas was good. How was your Christmas, Pollux? We don't want that, and that should decenter it. You watch Aquaman? This is weird. It's not displaying the path. I wonder if we're not fetching the path. And we are not. Did any of you guys see the Spider-Man movie? I've been hearing a lot of people talk about that. Oh, I added it to the wrong thing. Not there, but over here. Nice. Awesome. So now the path shows up. I got rid of justify content. Alright, ever since I added that transpiling thing, it actually has not helped at all. I think I'm going to remove it. Alright, goodbye. Hey Ben, have you heard of the Adonis Node.js framework? Yes, I have. Yeah, the Spider-Man movie did get good ratings. Get rid of that. Bam, alright. So now if I refresh, theoretically, it should be in the right place. Ha, Laravel ripoff for Node. Alright, so the other thing I need to do is just add kind of like a border around everything. How's my experience been with Type GraphQL so far? I'm actually really liking it. It's been good. There we go. Alright, so now it looks more boxy. Hey Ben, I always wondered how Apple does their website, especially if you take a look at their iPhone site, how they do all the animation with the phone and stuff. Actually, I like know absolutely nothing about let's see. I know absolutely nothing about animations. So I'm the wrong person to ask. Interesting. So this would be for inline comments. Okay, one thing, one min, is we just switched over to using Prism React Renderer. Reason being, let me go to a file that we haven't clicked on. Alright, so let's say I do 1 to 12. It's now going to highlight lines 1 to 12, and we can also click on these icons on the side. Now, this is actually really interesting. I actually kind of like this inline thing a little bit. How I could see it working is Yeah, I could see it working like that instead of putting all of it below. Okay, you are using the React render. Okay. I just wanted to make sure because it looked like the lines are striped, and I removed that, the striped lines here, so I didn't know if, yeah. I didn't know if you were using that or if you're using a different version. Okay, yeah. One I like this direction. And I think it'll be easier to match up the thread of stuff with the chunk of code. That way, instead of having it all below. The only thing I can think of is if you can make it in a way where we can expand it and close it. You also managed to add the button on hover like the GitHub diff page works. Now that is sweet, actually. I think I know what you're talking about. So you're talking about this little plus. And then you can do that. That's nice. Can I don't even know if it'll let you fold it on GitHub. Cool. You also may want to respond to a comment. Yep, exactly. I think that'll also work well because I don't need the question to be the full length. And so there'll be a little padding on the sides, which is nice. Okay. All right, so we affected the UI package, and we also affected the web package. And let's push this up. All right, so what I think I want to work on next, we do need to do more styling stuff, but I want to do this. Actually, we can do the form next. I think I may wait to work on the question component more until Oneman finishes the PR, because then I kind of want to get it to work in line with what his stuff does. So I think I'm going to work on the higher order component next. So now the purpose of the higher order component I'm about to create is the following. So when I go over to this page, this pick repo page, I only want people to be able to create a code review that are logged in. And so we want to just be able to check that easily. So I'm going to create a utility, or I guess it's really a component, which I'm going to call with auth. And I think I want to do a lowercase w on it. So I always forget how to do the higher order components with TypeScript, so I usually just use this guide, which is really nice, this cheat sheet. Alright, so anybody's New Year's resolution related to programming? Haven't created my New Year's resolution yet. Is yours related to programming? So we're going to take a component as the parameter here. And this is going to be what I'm not sure I want the type to be. So for some reason it doesn't have it. In cases like this, what I like to do is to just see with copy someone else who does have a higher order component with router. Alright. You're going to do 100 hours work week. Wow. Alright, so it's a component type. Extends T. What are you working on that you want to work that hard on? So we messed up this type somewhere. I see, so you want to finish your project as quickly as possible. Any ideas how to fetch data in a different way than this? Axios.get then a response. And you're using the GitHub API. Well, option 1, if you want to use the GitHub API, you can also fetch it through GraphQL. But let me ask you this. What do you dislike, Mario, about the way you're currently doing it? Are you just wanting to do something else besides Axios? Because you could use the fetch function instead. You're getting an error 404. Well, if you're getting a 404 error, what that means is you're passing the wrong URL. So it looks like you're adding the state in there. You're using this.state.username. I would just make sure the username looks like what you think it is. Like that. And like the other trick you can try, Mario, is actually console log what the URL is and then try pasting it in your browser and see if it takes you to the right place. Right. Okay, so with loading, he's taking a component as a parameter, so are we. He's using a component type, so are we. He's extending object instead of an empty object. That doesn't seem to change it. Hey, Vidan, I'm currently creating a higher order component for authentication. So with loading props, see how the formatted comments looks like. All right, let's copy this. Oh, what the heck? Starting online, ending online. Wait, so what is the difference between this is replying to someone, you're saying? All right, let me share. Here, that's the Figma link. So if you take a look at it, oh nice. If you take a look at it, let's see. I think we have it on this page. This page. Here's what the replies look like. I should probably make a copy of this real quick in case I messed up the permissions. File, copy as, no. I don't want to export it as a PNG. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, here's kind of like what the mock-up of it looks like. If you want to make it like this, or if you just want to create the outline and I'll code it like this, is similar to this style. So like here's a base question, then underneath here are the threads. I mean basically what it is it's a different style but very close to what GitHub's issues are, right? You have the cards. The form open after the row was clicked. So you're doing this to... Okay, yeah, we don't want to open that. I see what you're doing. This is for actually creating a question. I want to do it like this for now. Where is it? Where is it? All right, let me just zoom out. I think it's over here. So here's what the form looks like for new questions. We don't need a title, so you can just chop off this top bit, but it's these 2 bits here. Yeah, Mario. Hey, Pat. So Mario, what I want you to do is I want you to just console log the URL that you are actually fetching. In OneMin, I think you're doing it like this is what it looks like. So click on you, click on you. So you're talking about I click on a line of code and then it pops underneath. So we can do that when you click on a line number. I think that's decent. So do you want the form to pop up in the code or as a pop? Honestly, I'm fine if the form is at the bottom, or I'm fine if like it just pops up here. Either way, I think I'm fine with. So it's going to be clicking on the line number that triggers it. Right? I'm fine with that. Yeah, we've been making some decent progress, and it's starting to kind of form together as a more coherent project. And we can at least navigate a little bit. We got some stuff displaying. Some of it is styled at least. So that is good. All right, so I don't know what I'm missing with my higher order component here with the type. Nope, that's definitely wrong. So that's going to be P. No, that's right, actually. Because this is going to be the props. You like the UI? Very clean. Oh, glad you like it. Vlad created it for us. Ooh, that's not T. So why can I not spread the props on then? I was about to go look at the source code for Next.js, but they are not TypeScript, I don't think. Yeah, they have JS files. So, I mean, one answer is to just look up another article. And see what they use for their TypeScript higher order components. Somebody's going to have one we can use. That article doesn't look like we're going to have what we had. All right, I think I'm going to take a break then and then try implementing this next time. I'm ready for a lunch break. I'm trying to make a junction table that is supposed to be a many-to-many relationship between two tables. What decorator should I use for my keys in the junction table? Primary column or one-to-many, both. Um, what I do is I use, you're welcome. I think Typeform has an example of what you want. Instead of me here you go. So here's an example of how they do custom join tables. Take a look at that. I think that's what I did for one of my projects. Yep. You just want to, if you want to add an extra column, that's how I do it. It's dinner time for you? Nice. So we'll take a food break, and then we'll continue working on this. I don't think I'm going to stream tonight. I think I'm going to just stream during the day. I'm liking that schedule better. So that's the plan. I'll probably pick this up tomorrow. All right, guys. Thanks for watching the stream today, and I'll see you next time.